What's going on, team? Thank you so much for being here tonight. So glad you are here. Oh my goodness. Let's make sure the microphone is working. Don't want Jamie to have a heart attack or anything. You guys can hear me, and that is great. Okay, guys, I'm a few minutes late. Thank you very much for being patient with me. I received an email today from the 9th District State's Attorney's Office down there in Florida, stating that there was a whole bunch of stuff that was being released, and they gave me a link. It ended up being about 8 gigabytes worth of data. Of course, I'm sorry, we're talking about the Madeline Soto case here. Sorry about that. We got to set the stage. We're talking about Maddie Soto, okay? 13-year-old little girl went missing on February 26th of last year. We just had the first anniversary of her death. She went missing, using daddy's air quotes here, and it wasn't very long after that her mother's on-again, off-again boyfriend, Stephen Stearns, was arrested. Not for her murder first. First, it was on many, many counts of battery, of the SA variety. And I'm sorry, it's YouTube. We have to say code words. So dumb. But anyway. Then little Miss Maddie's body was found in a field next to like a stand of bamboo. That was on March 1st, 2024. And Mr. Stearns was subsequently charged with her murder. Okay, that's where we are. Now, this is a case that is in Florida, everybody. Let's get Maddie's picture up. So this is in Florida, and one of the beautiful things about the state of Florida, it might be one of the things that makes Florida kind of the target of online teasing, the whole Florida man thing. That all comes from the fact that Florida is an open state when it comes to records. They're open. And, I mean, it's actually pretty easy to get records out of Florida. They make it so easy. It's just glorious. I wish other states would do it. There are a couple others that are good at it. Minnesota's great at it. Utah, Idaho, Arizona. Those are states that are very, very good at it. Florida is the I Ching, man. It is the top of the heap. And so Florida doesn't worry about much. I mean, they put out a lot of stuff. So I got an email, and it said that there were some new files. The issue that, if I can just complain for a moment, not about Florida, not about the way they're doing it, just about my personality, is that the link that they gave me, they've just been dumping other stuff into. It's the same link as before. So that means that we have to go through the process of figuring out what it is that we already have. And for me, I'm a person that organizes my files meticulously. I change file names. It kind of bites me in the hind end sometimes, but it takes me a while to go through them. I really wanted to share with you guys today some of the things that were in there, but didn't have tons of time to prepare. So what I'm focused on tonight is the photography that came out that I had never seen before. Maybe other channels have it. I don't know, but I had never seen it before. I checked with a couple of my mods. They had never seen it before. So what I did, and the reason that I was late, is on my website, I added, I think it comes to 711 photos that I obtained today. You guys already know that this website is just already so chock full of stuff, right? But if we scroll down towards the bottom, you guys can't see that, but I can. If we scroll down toward the bottom, we start to see a couple, there we are. We start to see a couple new galleries. Now, these are galleries that are available to everybody. You do not have to be a patron of mine to have access to these. you just go to the website. Okay. Now I want to, before we dig into them, I want to just kind of give maybe a disclosure here. Okay. I am a person who I err to the side of transparency on everything. And I recognize that there is a problem with that. Like when you go too far to one extreme, it's just as bad as going too far to the other. But I want you to know that I err to the side of transparency. And what that means is that there's nothing gory here. There's nothing bloody or anything like that I've seen, that I've noticed as I've been working on these files. But it is going to show like little girl's underwear and stuff like that, her clothing. And I recognize that there are sick people in this world that might derive pleasure out of seeing those kinds of things. In my balancing act of trying to remain open, and I know that there are other creators that disagree with me on this, just based on their behavior, right? What they do. And they're perfectly within their privilege to do that. It's fine. I err on the side of transparency. So there will be things that probably there are weirdos and sickos all around the world that are excited that these things are online. I put them all out. I put everything out there, including all the redacted stuff. I have not added any of my own redactions. Okay? So if that bothers you, which I don't blame you if it does, if it bothers you, maybe this isn't the video to watch. Okay? All right. Now, you're going, Gavin, get into it. But this is important, okay? Because I had to spend all of my time after my workday making the images smaller because my web server couldn't handle all of it. So I had to make the file size smaller, getting them uploaded, getting them organized, and all that stuff. I have not actually gone through any of this. So I thought that it would be a good exercise for both of us, you and me, all of us, to go through them together. And I'm going to depend on you guys, okay? Now, you guys will see in my lower third, sometimes let me just bring it up. If you use GF in your comment, I am going to see your comment on my side. I have a system here that filters it. So for example, Cassie, thank you, Cassie, says, I'm from Wisconsin. I'm convinced we're crazier than Florida. We're just not as open with our records. Yeah, that is the case, Cassie. Every place is wicked weird, just crazy weird. And Florida is one of the only ones that's gone like, we're just going to go ahead and let our criminal freak flag fly. But you can see what Cassie did there. She put a GF in her comment. Okay. That means that I am going to be able to see her comment, which is wonderful. Now, when we go over to the website, I want to bring your attention to two galleries. The first one is titled Photos, Clothing Inside Apartment. And the second, and it has about 200 photos. And then there's one that is titled Photos Inside, Items Inside Apartment. So clothing inside apartment, items inside apartment. You'll notice that there are completely redacted images. That is not my redaction. It has just been redacted by the investigative authorities. Okay. So what I would like us to do is, in an exercise together, why don't we go through these? There's a link in the description below. Go to gavinfish.com if you're on a computer. Open up another tab and take a look at these galleries. They're down at the very bottom of the page. It's going to take you a long time to scroll, and I apologize. There's just so much. Okay? So we'll go through them together and see if we can find anything of evidentiary value. That's what I'm hoping. So let's, cue the Jeopardy music. Go ahead and hop on over to the website. And for those of you who feel like it, I'm not forcing you to do it, but those of you who feel like it, and check to see if anything stands out to you as having evidentiary value. And while you're doing that, I am going to bring a photo of Maddie up, and I'm going to go through some of the comments that you guys have already done, okay? And then I'm going to read your comments. What I want you to do is just tell me the picture. There's a title in there. Tell me the photo name. Tell me your thoughts on it, okay? Ashley is representing Florida. Ashley, thank you for being here. That is awesome. Marie says, I'm so sleepy. I hope I make it through the live, but I can always watch the replay. Replay crew is welcome here for sure, Marie. Thank you for being here. Grandpa Dave, I am doing well. Jess, link, I thought I put a link down in there, but it's possible I didn't. So if you go to ye old website, gavinfish.com, just type in gavinfish.com or Google Gavin Fish. I promise you it'll find the website, okay? Once you're on the homepage of the website, you click on cases. Once you get to cases, and my computer is really bogged down because of everything that I've been doing on it over the last couple of hours. Once you get to cases, it is organized in chronological order, descending. So the most recent case is at the top. Madeline is right here on the first row if you're on, a browser, a computer browser. Oh no, what is happening to my website? Come on, man. Hang on. We've got extra stuff happening going on the website. Probably a spike of traffic. Let me see if I can kick it into gear here. It has been having to do a lot of work over the last couple of hours, guys. And I did have to reprovision some space in order to get all this stuff up there. Okay, it looks like it's probably going. It's just going to be really slow. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, I guess we're just going to have to deal with the slowness of the site because it has so much that I've done to the server. I mean, I have just overwhelmed the processors, the memory. I didn't have time to kind of wipe everything. But anyway, go all the way down to the bottom. Okay. These are going to take forever to load, I am sure, now that I have refreshed a bit. But now you guys know how to get there. Okay. While that is refreshing for me, let me go through a couple of other comments. Edith, love your content. Thank you very much. KG, I am well. Thank you for saying that. Brenda, hair is coming along. Oh my goodness, it is so long, everybody. It is so long. Okay, let's get. Yeah, Becca, watch everyone crash your website. I think that's what just happened, man. Yeah, I really put this website through its paces earlier. That is so funny. Let's just hopefully it will load. Hopefully it will load. Don't crash. Oh, it looks like it's loading. Okay, it's loading now. Good. Going all the way down to the bottom. I am focused less on the clothing. I do like the way that they arranged it. So I put them in order of the file name right here. You see that down? Can you see that? Let's see. See if I can bump that up for you guys just a little bit. There's a file name. And I ordered them by file name. So they put a card that says, okay, everything that comes after this is the girl's room, middle left drawer of dresser. So this is Maddie's drawer, right? And it goes through her clothing. To me, that's less evidentiary value. I think there's a little bit better stuff when we get to photos inside the apartment. So head on over there and see what you can find. Let me go through a couple more comments before we go there. Taylor is from Orlando. Thanks for being here. Figaro's01, good to see you again. Still loading. Yeah, I know. It's funny. Universe is speaking. Brenda, mine is coming up, but taking forever for pics to appear. So yeah, we are crashing the website. Hopefully the server will come back up because it has been really overworked. Cyber Sleuth Steph, welcome. Thanks for joining the channel. I appreciate that. Okay. All right. So now you guys have had a chance to kind of start going through. I know it's loading slowly, but let's start to look at a couple of things. For me, the stuff that's most important probably is the stuff from Maddie's room. And I'm just going to use the website so I know that we're not going to be able to zoom in and so forth. You know what, though? You know what I can do? I don't know. Let's just do it this way, okay? So, you know what I was going to check is what day these pictures were taken. I didn't get that ready. Let me look at the metadata here. Give me a second. Case file, images. Okay. So I'm just going to open up one of these on my computer. You guys won't be able to see this, but just see if I can get a little bit of metadata here. So it says that these were taken February 17th, 2025. That is what it's saying. But to me, let's go to the EXIF data. That can't be right. Nope. Okay, here it is. February 29th, 2024, pretty much beginning at 3:35 p.m. is what I'm seeing in the metadata. Okay? So a couple days after, her body has not been discovered yet when these photos were taken. And this is a view from the living room into Madeline's makeshift bedroom. I think that at this point, the police have gone through a lot, so there would be some changes in kind of what's been going on in here. I don't know if they would have released it yet or not, but we can see on Madeline's bed there are a lot of stuff on her bed. This looks like it might be Jen's room. To me, they've gone through drawers. No, is this Madeline's room? Hold on. I don't think so. Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's get back over to where I know it's Madeline's room. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff placed up on Madeline's bed. Just kind of go through it here real quick. I mean, this is a 13-year-old girl's bedroom. This is what it looks like. It looks like they've really made a mess. I am curious what that says right there. So what image am I on? I'm on 0029. Let me pull that up on my end. That little whiteboard. Organizing room is what it says. Throw out garbage, put dirty laundry in hamper, put clean laundry away, make bed, put toys in box. Then it says nighttime chores, make sure bedroom is organized, charge laptop, pick up laundry from bathroom, hang towels to dry. Okay, Pookie, is what it says. It makes me think that maybe Jennifer wrote that. That's what that little sign says. If there's anything else in here. I'm just going to kind of scroll through real quick and see what you guys have found. It is pretty sad that, she's a 13-year-old girl. She should have her own bedroom. What's that? No, it's just a speaker or something. Oh, okay. So that was Madeline's room. That's on the other side of that partition, the big TV and the dresser, the Pringles on it. It makes you wonder why they took photos like this. Okay, so here's one where they've moved stuff that was piled next to the bed just to see what's under there. I think that looks like a notebook, maybe a charging cord. Is that a... Those are binoculars. Some binoculars there. Yeah, not sure why the binoculars. Maybe she liked looking at squirrels or something. It's sad to me that she didn't have her own room when it was completely possible for her to have it. And she had a big TV in there and a computer. So I'm always wondering, I think what they're doing with these photos is just establishing the scene. Like, this is the scene on the 29th of February. And I think they've probably gone through a lot at this point. Because if we look back at the apartment photos from before, it wasn't like this. Like, the sheets are off of the bed, the pillowcase is gone. I'm sure that all of the stuff that is there was in the room. A little volleyball makes me wonder if she liked to play volleyball. All right. Now I'm just like scrolling, wondering what to do here. But what are you guys finding? Okay. Oh, you guys are on the case. Let's see. Here we go. Dom's mom gave up. I'm just going to watch you click through them. Yeah. Okay. You should prioritize your own access, Gavin. Yeah, once it's loaded, I've got it loaded. It's completely fine. Yeah, Chrissy, go ahead. Send as many people as you want over to the website. Maybe do it after the live stream so we don't crash it again. Hey, Queen Olive Ruth Ann. Says you're a member for 4 months, but then it says you're a new member. So whichever way it is, thank you so much. Yep, the room with the divider doors is Madeline's makeshift room. It was a huge mess right from the start, says Kathy. Gavin, external hard drive found in Jen's room. Ooh, Jess, tell us which one that is. What is the photo number so I can go to it? Okay. Vicky says, Gavin, that's not what a 13-year-old girl's room looks like. Yeah, you're right. That's fair. That's a makeshift afterthought room for a child that wasn't wanted by the mom. I don't know. I mean, there are different... Yes, it's not a typical 13-year-old's room, but I've been thinking about this. So in our house, all of our children have their own room, but it wasn't always that way. There was a time when our 2 older girls were in a room together, our 2 boys were in a room together, and our baby was in a bassinet in our walk-in closet. Like that has been... We've had weird living situations. So I'm very sorry that, like, she should have had her own room. For sure. I don't know that the child wasn't wanted by the mom is fair. I mean, I understand how you feel that way, but I don't know that it's necessarily fair. Kathy says Jen's room wasn't pretty either. The Scoop says, Gavin, the writing of the list is Jennifer's handwriting. The okay Pookie is like an answer from Maddie. I see. Gavin, 2 laptops and a tripod in Jen's room, says Jess. Jess, you got to please give me the And I know that I'm going back in time here and going through the old comments, but please give me the photo number. Okay. Let's see. Gavin, it's cool that you were late. I'm fashionably late myself. I'll just continue. We're all good. Drawer full of hand towels in Maddie's dresser. Okay, so she had a multi-use kind of a thing. Carol says this is after they process the scene. Tish says, I'm here in Central Florida, less than an hour from Kissimmee, Osceola County. Looking forward to watching the show with you and the other fishes. Yay, I'm glad you're here. I've scrolled so far that I don't know, Gavin. I'm at the end. Okay, well, we'll get there. Maddie says, that looks like a storage closet. No one was sleeping in there. Jess says, 0372, Maddie's notebook with her explicit drawing. 0372, let me go way down. Let's see where I go. Where am I? 0329. 0370. 7172. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is a grown-up show, everybody. This isn't for kids. Yeah. Yeah, very explicit. Very explicit, Jess. Holy cow. Let me that just seems like an indication of the abuse that Madeline was suffering. Goodness sakes. Yeah, people do have different living situations. Bree says Stephen Stern should have had the makeshift room and Madeline should have had the guest room, aka room number 4. Yeah. Maddie says, Gavin, your living situation is different. You didn't make your children sleep in a living room while you had a whole free bedroom. Yeah, I mean, yeah, guys, you're not wrong. I'm just okay. One of the things that I was on Courtroom Confidential yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that. They'd recorded that a couple weeks ago, and in that conversation, we talked a lot about, when you're sleuthing, when you're acting as a detective, whether you have training or not, there is a certain triage that you have to do. Okay. And I guess what I'm saying here is that I don't know that in and of itself, Maddie living in a makeshift room in the living room is an indication that she was less loved. It could be. I just don't know that it necessarily is. And I know of families, and I've told you guys this before, Kimberly and I, we lived in a 2-family house more than once, right? So there are different living situations for different people. So I don't just automatically go, oh, they've got her behind a partition in the living room, she's unloved. I have to look at the totality of things. Now, like the explicit drawing, at the age of 13, like that's something that maybe high school kids would do. Or maybe I'm just completely disconnected from reality, having, grown up so long ago. But, the explicit drawing does seem pretty darn young to me. I wonder if it might be just today's day and age. I don't know. Don't know. Texas Surfer says probably Stephen Stern's binoculars. Could be. Tamara says Jen's dad owned the home and rented out rooms. He would not let Jen have a room for Maddie unless Jen paid the rent for it. So I have heard that, and it's not impossible, I guess, right? But then I see photos like this, and I think, no, this is a guy who loved his granddaughter. Maybe the wool's pulled over my eyes. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Who else is... I remember another site said, and this is Cosmic Thrifter. Cosmic Thrifter. Holy cow. You going into the great unknown for your thrifting. Okay. Another site said that Stephen Stearns had written the chores for Maddie to follow. He called her Pookie to be cutesy with her. Alien babies. She drew him with a big butt. Yeah. Gavin, the see-through walls barriers creep me out given the history of Stephen Stearns. Yeah, I think given that there was a man living in the house, well, oh my goodness, I almost said something out loud, not remembering, of course, the 1,700 photos and videos he had of him abusing her. But the normal teen or preteen would go to a private place to do the changing and stuff like that, right? But who knows how normal it was. KG7 says, Gavin, it hurts my heart to see that drawing. Yeah, that's pretty young, man, to be doing that sort of stuff. Tammy says, Gavin, the grandfather adored Maddie. There was no need for her to have a pantry room. She deserved her own. Becca, that's awful that she, I think meaning Maddie, was aware of what was happening. That drawing is confirmation of it. Hey, we got Hillbilly joining us. Good to see Elizabeth. Bree is saying, well, look at Jen putting Stefan before Madeline, not wanting to press charges and asking people to get him an attorney. That does freaking blow my mind. It does. Blows my mind. Kate in Virginia says, yeah, Gavin, when my daughter was little, her bedroom was what should have been the dining room in the 2-bedroom condo I shared with a friend. Yeah, that kind of stuff, that's what I'm saying, that kind of happens. I remember when I was a kid, I don't know how much I want to share, but okay. 2 different friends of mine. One friend of mine, his bedroom was very similar to that. It was in what should have been the dining room, and there were like bookcases partitioning it off so that he had some privacy. And then another friend of mine, 2 of the girls had a bedroom that they shared. And this is when we were teenagers, but they had what do you call it? Like slatted French doors. So they had no privacy in their room. You could see right through the doors. So yeah, there are different living situations. So I don't just automatically go, Maddie was unloved, but I can be wrong. Gorgeous George. Hey, Gorgeous, did you see Snatch? I believe the boxer who got knocked out by Mickey was a guy named Gorgeous George. Anyway, I think that Stephen Stearns had her groomed that she thought they were in a relationship. Just like poor Naziah Harris and Jarvis Butts. Her drawings didn't show a child in distress. Yeah, Vicky says, no, those drawings are not normal. Maddie sent those to her boyfriend, and she thought they were weird, or she sent something like that, maybe not exactly those. Or to her best friend, not her boyfriend. And she thought they were weird. Gotcha. Okay. I think they're weird. I think they're way too young to be doing something like that. Tammy17399 says, Gavin, it bothers me that Jen needed a good night's sleep, so she sent her daughter to sleep in Stefan's room. But she kept her dog in her room with a king-size bed. It doesn't make sense. Very true. Sash Shah says, Gavin, I drew pictures like that at that age. I was also essayed at a young age. Well, I'm deeply sorry for you, Sash or Sash. But thank you for that insight. Like, this is a girl that for 5 years previous to drawing that had been going through that kind of abuse. Bree says, Gavin, do you really think that Juan would allow his granddaughter not to have a bedroom because Jen wouldn't pay $400 for the room? I don't. Like, he's the only person that we have on audio crying, right? Like, he is a person who had the normal human reaction to his granddaughter being missing. And so, no, I think that I think there's something really wrong with Jennifer. That's what I think. And from a parent standpoint, like, how do you deal with a child that is just so dysfunctional? Like, what do you do? I mean, they're an adult. She's highly functional, but very dysfunctional, Yeah, I don't know. Jess says, Gavin, at the end of the day, Jen lived there, not her father. Jen is responsible for her daughter. I agree. Lisa says, Gavin, grandfather probably was told the bedroom was Maddie's and Jen had the makeshift room. It's possible. And Tiffany says, they stated that Maddie always slept in the bed with the mom. It was probably more of a living space for her to unwind or do kid stuff, but she never slept there. But I wonder if she always slept with the mom because of the situation. Because when we heard the interview with Stephen Young, who was her stepfather for a while, by the way, this is the other guy who struck me as somebody who deeply loved Madeline, but had to put his daughter first when Jen started having mental health issues. But it didn't seem, at least I don't remember from his interview, that Jen had to sleep with Maddie, or Maddie had to sleep with Jen. I don't know. Yeah, Carol says, I grew up in a family of 10 in a 3-bedroom apartment. 4 girls in one room, 4 boys in another room, my parents in a third. Yeah, we once had, when I was little, we once had a 2-bedroom, like, single family home, but there were 7 of us, right? 5 kids. And my little sister was pretty little. She was maybe 1 or 2. And the way we did it is 4 of us were in one room. My oldest sister had a bed, and then the boys had like a triple bunk bed. And then my little sister was in with my parents. So there are weird living situations here and there. Brenda says, Gavin, Jen had other priorities. It was obvious Maddie wasn't one. Very sad. Vicky says, when Juan lived there, Maddie had her own room. I don't think he would have wanted her. He would not wanted her. He would have not wanted her to have her own room. Sorry, it took me a minute, but you wrote it correctly. I just took me a moment. Getting back to... Ooh, okay, you guys are pulling up some image numbers. Thank you for doing that. It's going to help me. Katie says these drawings are very disturbing, especially for her age. Definite sign and abuse, in my opinion. Gorgeous says, in 1983, my group of 3rd grade girls got busted for drawing pics of ladies with boobies. That's funny. We all stretch and grow as we mature, but I think we all agree that Maddie was way before her time doing that kind of stuff. I think it's definitely a sign that she was terribly abused. Phoenix says, Gavin, both can be true. It's possible that Maddie's abuelo adored her, but also tried to insist that Jen pay rent, be responsible, i.e. have a job, and a boyfriend with a freaking job. That is true. And you know what? We have been falling for the fallacy that everything is binary, right? That if one thing's true, something else isn't, and the world is hardly ever that way. Alyssa says, Gavin, sorry for going off topic, and I apologize if you've already answered this, but will you be at CrimeCon this year? I'm not planning on being at CrimeCon in the US. I am planning CrimeCon in the UK. I just like smaller things, guys. I'm just not. I moved to a small town because I don't like big crowds. I probably will have to bite the bullet and go to CrimeCon one of these days. Roberta says, didn't look through her stuff to see what was going on, Maddie's life, that she didn't want to tell mommy. I go through our children's stuff, I guess. Jen should have. God's secretary, Gavin, I don't think she felt unloved because of her room, but because her mother knew this man was essaying her. Yeah, that's a great point. KG says, I just went straight to a source regarding the drawing. I asked my 22-year-old daughter if her or her friends would have done this, and her response was, not unless I was crying for help. Yeah. Jess goes to 0066. Gavin, would that be in that mortar? What could be in that mortar? I'm sorry, man. What could be in that mortar, asks Jess. So let me go to photo 66. Scrolling back up here. It's going to be way near the top. 19. I went too far. Wow. I'm having a hard time triangulating here. 104. 84. Okay, let me... What could be in that... Oh, I'm on the wrong picture. I'm on 67. Oh, the mortar and pestle. Let me bring it up. Yeah, that's... they were kicked out of their house midway through something, right? Or... No, they were... Now that I think about it, I think they were at the office at the time that they lost. So let me pull this up on my side and see if I can kind of zoom in on that and describe it to you guys. You know what that looks like? That looks like salt. Jess, I think that is salt. I think that might just be salt or rice, maybe. No, I think it's rice, actually. It's something like that. That's a good question. Thanks for honing in on that photo. That helps me a lot. Bree says, I cannot see the grandfather making a big deal over a couple $100 so his preteen grandchild can have the privacy should have at that age. I think it was Jennifer Soto who was the money hungry one. I think that's possible. I don't know that Juan was getting money per room. I think that he was just going, you got to pay the mortgage. Got to cover my mortgage. Scarlett says, Gavin, what do you expect her to draw considering all the abuse she endured? No, I have to admit here, Scarlett, I am surprised frequently. I'm just surprised frequently. And I know a lot of you in our little community have grown up in way harder circumstances than I had. The way I describe it is I won the family lottery. The family that I was born into was the best. We my parents did their very best they could financially. They did a pretty darn good job. We were pretty good middle class family, but more importantly, way more importantly than that, I mean, light years more importantly than that, my parents loved one another. They loved each of us children. They guarded us, they protected us, they taught us, they reared us, they provided for us. They made sure that we were good siblings to one another, right? And I know that many of you didn't have that and are hoping to provide that to your children, or are providing that for your children, but you didn't grow up with that. And so I am a little naive sometimes. There are things that when I saw those photos, I went, first off, I never did that. At age 13, I had no clue still. And so, yeah, what did I expect her to draw? I don't know that I had any expectation because I just don't understand. And it's part of the heartbreaking nature of this case, man. Just so heartbreaking how much this poor child went through. It is outside of the realm of possibility for me. It's just so beyond my lived experience. Just the darkness that she lived in. And still look at her, able to put on a smile. And there are moments like where I think I'm seeing real joy. Stuff like moments of deep joy. And when she's littler, just going through a couple of these when she was little. What a beautiful, precious little child. Just look at that face. That's why it's so heartbreaking. Yeah, I didn't expect her to be drawing that, but it's because I'm naive. It's not part of my lived experience. Thanks for that comment. Cosmic Thrifter, Gavin, the room was not being rented before Jen sent Stephen Stearns to go rent it. I don't believe Juan would have not let Maddie use it. He seems to be the only one who truly loved her. Yeah. Guerrita says, Gavin, my first live. I'm from the Rewatch crew. Please keep covering Maddie. Well, I'm glad you're here, little Guerra. Glad you're here. Let's see. There are a couple here that you are telling me some numbers of images. So I want to get to those real quick. Yeah, how would Jen not see those drawings? I know, unless she was purposefully trying to avoid them. My wife and I, we believed in giving our children space and letting them grow and experience childhood, but there were boundaries, right? And I can't tell you how many times they tried to sneak stuff and we found it. Now, having said that, there's probably a lot of stuff that we never found too. So I don't know. Let me just, I know that a lot of you put GF in these things. I'm going to scroll through them just a little bit. Let's see. Becca says, I was going to say it looked like salt. Just go to, I thought there were a couple of, Tanya says, Gavin, photo 66 shows Maddie's water bottle. Let's get back over. I think I've got 66 up. The one Jen says she always takes to school. Great catch, Tanya. The one Jen says she always takes to school, but there it sits, even though Jen said it got ready the night before. Which one is it, Tanya? Is it the white one or the black one? Is there a name on it? Let me see if I can zoom in on that one more time. Takia is the brand of the white one. I don't see a name on it, but yeah, our children are required to take water bottles to school. I think most schools are like that now. Great comment, Tanya. Jess says, I was thinking ground up meds, but it would be an egregious amount for sure. Yeah, I think it's probably salt. It kind of looks like rice, but I think it's probably salt. I don't know of any. I'm trying to think what their heritage is. Are they Puerto Rican? Are there any like Puerto Rican dishes that are ground up rice, to make some sort of rice flour for something? I don't know, but maybe I think it's probably salt. Gavin, the holes in all those throw blankets creep me out. Those aren't by accident, in my opinion. Let me go over there real quick. I think that's near the bottom. And I can't remember which. Again, there's 700 pages here. No, it's the previous one. Give me a second. Get up to it. Yeah, so I don't know if this is more than one throw blanket or just the one. So far, I think it's just the one. I think it's probably the same one. Yeah, and there it is turned over. Not sure what that is right there. Oh, that's a Band-Aid. There's a close-up of that. Let's see. Yeah. It was like a Band-Aid stuck on it. It looks like there's a small hair there too. Yeah. All right, let me bring up Maddie, see what you guys are saying. What else you're saying. Figaro's 01 says, Gavin, if you look at 122, you can see a little better the mortar. Let me bring that up. 122. I should have a page that's just the second screen. Do I have that anywhere? I don't think I do. Let me take a look closer at it. No, that's definitely rice. In the mortar, that's definitely rice. That's not salt. 122. On my side, I'm just zooming in on it. You know what I could do is open it with my browser. Then I could bring it up for you guys, and we could zoom in on it. Give me a second here. There you go. This is photo 122. Oops. To me, I think that's rice. Great job, Figaro's. See what else you guys have found in here. Las Vegas girl, I'm sorry you won the worst parents lottery. That sucks. That sucks, and I'm very sorry for you. Let's see. In the shape of a heart. I'm not going to show it again, but if you go to my website, gavinfish.com, you will find it. And what number was it, everybody? I think it was... it was in the second batch. Anyway, it's on the website. So yeah, I'm not going to show it again in the shape of a heart. It's very explicit. I want to not show that again. But it's there. Just says Gavin, literally no one in her life expected any of the things Maddie suffered to happen. It's very shocking to see a preteen drawing such explicit imagery. Yeah, I agree. Mina, glad you are here. Cat artist, Gavin, why is the trial taking so long to start when there is so much evidence? Actually, Cat, it is likely because there is so much evidence that it's taking a long time. The defense will not want to do a trial until they have gone through all the evidence and are able to put up a good defense. Yeah, and I think he waived his right to a speedy trial too, so it's going to be a while. Angelica, great answer. Thank you. I didn't know this. Rice is used to clean or prepare the mortar. I did not know that. Thank you very much. And yes, they are Puerto Rican. So I had wondered if there was some kind of, Puerto Rican dish that was ground rice. I had no idea. Thanks. Thank you all. That was awesome. Let's see. Keep going. Robin Bernardi says, Gavin, they had a dog and dog do as a dog does. Yeah, we've had house rabbits, and we tend to have our blankets have little holes in them. By the way, if you ever would just want to get into just really fun animals, house rabbits are a blast. A down lands or add own lands. I don't know. I'm not sure how to say it. Sorry about that. Do we know what the relationship is with Jen and her family now? I don't. I would imagine it is strained at this point. Christopher, Gavin, I find it funny that image 410 shows a book on the dresser titled Active Parenting of Teens. Let me go there. 410. I'll open it in a browser again so that we can see it. Open with, where's my browser? Oh my goodness, you are correct. Let's see if I can. Active Parenting of Teens. I mean, I'm not taking you to task because I think you're talking about the word funny as in it is odd. But yeah, there's nothing really comedic about this case, right? This is so sad. I mean, is it possible? If I'm going to throw Jen a bone here, I'm just going to throw her a bone. You guys know I like to play devil's advocate. I like to extend grace as much as I can. Let's throw her a bone. Maybe she'll recognize she's in above her head and knows that she's having mental illness issues, crises, and isn't able to take care of her daughter. Maybe she's trying to improve. Throwing her a bone. I don't know. Is it possible? I guess it's possible. Great catch. Gorgeous George, Gavin, I've always suspected Jen never searched for clues to Maddie's disappearance that Monday night. If she'd have found that notebook and the crock. Okay, Queen Olive Ruth Ann. What you do is you go to gavinfish.com. Up at the top of every page, there is cases. See where my mouse is right there? Click on cases. The third image you see should be Madeline. If you click on that, that will get you to the page that I'm looking at right now. Okay. I don't want to click back on it to show you because there's so many of us on the site right now. And I've done so much on the server today that it's kind of crashing the server. So just go to cases. When it loads slowly, have patience. Go to Madeline Soto. It's the third case listed, and then let the page load. It's going to take a while, and then you will get to these images. Let's see. In the shape of a heart. I will go to your website after the live. Good idea. Good idea. Image 320, Jess says, is the external drive. All right, Jess, I'm going to pull it up. There it is, sure enough. Yeah. What do you? I'm sure they plugged that in to see what was on there. That's a. Oh, it just freaks me out that could have. That's possible that there are images of Maddie on there. Who knows? Katie says, Gavin, has there been clarification on when Stephen Stern's parents said he had all that money? Has anyone heard what they were talking about when Jen said I can't let her sleep in my room anymore? His parents said he had all that money. I don't remember that. And then when Jen said I can't let her sleep in my room anymore, are you talking about the Woody Allen comment? Is that what you're asking about there? I don't know. Sandra, thank you very much for the super chat. Gavin, you mentioned that court dates scheduled may be postponed. Are we looking at 2026 or further out? Yeah, if I were to guess, if I were to wager, let's say, this case started in the beginning of 2024. I think it'll go out to probably the end of 2026 at the soonest is my guess. I mean, there have been a couple ones that have surprised me. For example, I just covered a murder case in Clarion County, PA, where it was a year. It was only a year from the time that the arrest was made. Was that Clarion? No, that was Venango County. In Venango County, it was only a year. And we're about to start the Rebecca Byler trial next week, and that is about a year. So it can happen, but I don't think that it will in this case. I really don't. Great question. Thank you for that. See if there are any other. Let's see. Bree says they had taken one black USB drive and one silver, and there's a search warrant for them, plus the Tower hard drive. Gavin, thank you very much. Mrs. Italy, Gavin, just tuning in. What is your website? I need to slow down. gavinfish.com. And it's on. I'm pretty sure it's linked in the description below. I always have it linked in the description. Maddie's case page should be linked in the description. You just click on that. It'll get you there. Jennifer, I had no idea you'd put so much work in these cases. I'm pretty obsessive about these things. Yeah. Doctora Latina, sorry. Gavin, have you noticed that when Jen lies or obfuscates, she takes a deep breath, loud sighs? Would you ever replay the interviews from police car and in mom's office? Fascinating. Yes. Yes, I will. In fact, in going through everything that I got today, there are a couple of audio interviews that I've never heard before of Jen. So we're going to do that. Okay? We're definitely going to do that. Bree says Stefan won a lawsuit. Was that Geico thing or something? Okay, so he had that money. Maybe it wasn't Geico, but okay. Kate in Virginia says it's also possible that Jen was given that book by a family member trying to clue her in on her ineptitude. Could be. Jess says 341 and 342 are the drawer of towels. Let's go there. It's going to be, where are we at here? 244. So 310. Okay, we're close. Yeah, there they are. Do you think that is like extra storage of hand towels? Because there are other things in there. Let me grab 342. We can look at a close up real quick. Make sure that I have it. Yeah, okay. I mean, there are other things in there, but yeah, that looks like a towel drawer to me. Oh, my mind just went to a dark place about having hand towels like that around. I shouldn't think about those things. Great catch, Jess. You are doing good work for us today. Thank you very much. Figaro says, Gavin, image 193 is weird. Jen takes meds and does she down them with wine? No wonder she's messed up. Let me go see. 193. Oh, I see what you're saying. So she has a wine bottle in there. Are her meds there? She has wine in her room. I mean, okay, trying to, again, throw her a bone here. Is there... I mean, is that normal? I guess if you're in a place with lots of different people, I mean, there were basically 3 families in this apartment. Put wine in your room, I guess. But that's a great question, Figaro. Good question. You guys are catching some awesome stuff. We got up here. Ashley, thank you very much for the super sticker. That was most kind of you. And I'm sorry that my system is weird with greens. Doesn't show it very well. Thank you very much for that. Jess, 332, 333 is the tripod. All right, let's go there. Oh, yeah, it's right there. There's 333. So is this in Jen's room? Whose room is this in? Let's look. This looks like it might be in Madeline's room. No, it's definitely Jen's room. Right? This is Jennifer's room, I believe. Yeah. So she's got a tripod. I mean, there are a lot of innocent reasons to have a tripod. But there are a couple of nefarious ones too. There's the hard drive right there. Just gonna go through these real quick. Man, that is a lot of stuff crammed into a little place. You know, if Jennifer was engaged, there's the tripod, in documenting stuff happening in her home. I'm not saying that she was. I'm not saying that I know that she was. I just really, in fact, I really hope that she wasn't. Really deeply hope that she was not involved in that. Rosalina says, I believe Jen is more worried about boyfriend than she ever was about her own daughter. I think she was jealous of her daughter and thought of her as competition. A lot of us have felt the same way. Mina, molcajetes are seasoned, crushing raw rice and salt together. Man, I feel like I'm not a fancy enough person. I need to get a mortar and pestle and learn how to use it. Yeah. Oh, Gavin, the tripod was in the white bland room number 4 upstairs. That's Stern's room. Ah, man. Oh. Yeah, she is also telling me it's Stefan's room. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that is funny. Those towels look like they're straight from Disney hotels. And since they both worked at Disney, they could purchase an employee's discount store once hotel tosses them. Or they could just grab a bunch of towels. Yeah. Could it be Stefan also abused Maddie in that room? Also, of all the photos we've seen of Jen and Maddie, none are set up on a tripod. Great catch on that. Yeah, they're all selfie style, right? And Jess says it's Jen's closet had the tripod. So yeah, it's a little unclear and a little, yeah, I'll have to really dig into these. I know right now, just together, you and me, we're going through these and just kind of seeing what we can see. Cat artist says, Gavin, the drawing says it all. Yeah. Yeah. Supra chiasmatic? Supra chiasmatic. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds fancy. If you share space, you keep things like wine in your room for sure. Empty box of raspberry danishes in 177. What room is 177? Let's see. Oh, this definitely looks like it's Stefan's room. Oh my goodness, Stefan. I mean, it's got the little cards. It's messy. There's the Entenmann's empty box, a deck box, some role-playing books. Is that like a Tamagotchi or something right there? Right there. Yeah, this guy never grew up, man. He just never ever grew up. And that's not me having like pity on the guy. It just yeah, it's just really Love Heals. Stefan's dad said he wondered where he got so much money to buy the endless Amazon packages. Gotcha. Yeah. He did tend to just have money. You're right. Jess says the darkest of places tonight, but great live, and thank you for publishing on your website. Yeah, happy to do that. Happy to do that. Thank you guys for helping us go through that. Yeah, we've got the old laptop that we looked at. Drama Llama. Hey, y'all, I'm so late, but I'll watch the first hour or part I missed later. Gavin, you're probably close on time frame. Most of our high-profile cases in Florida typically are 5 years before the trial starts. Yeah, it's about right. Darlene, Stephen Stearns had 70 grand from his grandfather. Remember when his dad said he got money from his father, but it was his grandfather? Yeah, allegedly speculating. Dang it, I wish. Did you get these through a FOIA or were they released on some website? If so, what website? Like through the DA? I'm so confused. Yeah. So what happens, allegedly speculating, is I am a member of the media. Besides being a YouTuber, I work as a reporter for a media company. And so early on in the case, I would put in Freedom of Information Act. In Florida, they're actually called Sunshine Law requests. I put them in to all of the different places. So we're talking the Kissimmee Police Department, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and then the state's attorney for District 9 of the state of Florida. And then kind of once I had already done that and started to kind of build the relationship with the FOIA officers, I guess, right? They would just start sending me stuff, and I wasn't the only one. There were lots of different outlets on those emails that would get those. And yeah, so today from the state's attorney's office, I got one of those emails and got all the files. Now, I believe that those files are protected. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think that there is like a public, there's like a public place to download those. Trying to think if there's an easy way to get that. I'll try to think of a way to get you guys everything. Most everything I have on the website anyway. But yeah. Carol says, Gavin, judge has to rule on all the defense motions. That's why it's taking so long, and it is a DP case. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why these take so long. See if there's any other things. I mean, we've been going for an hour and 15. I just want to just make sure. Scoop, I don't know if I'm looking the correct pile of pictures, but I found some that are just washed clothes, possibly from the drawer. Yeah, in the first set of, let me get back over to the website here. In the first set of images, there are about 200 images. And these are the ones I think that I'm probably mostly going to get a little bit of flack about. This is clothing inside the apartment. They did go through each drawer. So for example, okay, here is what was hanging off of the divider, right? And then that's what was that. And then after this is what was on the girls' room and the floor. And then, it's underwear and a tank top and everything. And then here is the girls' top right drawer of dresser. Now these are the towels. How many is that, guys? That's 18 hand towels, like washcloths in that drawer. Right. So they did go through each and every one. Actually, if we want to know if these came from Disney, the brand is Utopia Towels. So anyway, and here's Maddie's top third drawer of dresser, counting from right to left. So they documented this really, really well. That was obviously her underwear drawer, and then there's her laundry basket that was emptied and so forth too. So that's what that is. And I mean, I've already described why I decided to publish that. I don't need to go into that. And then the next group, which is about 510 images, is just documenting the apartment. Okay, thanks, Scoop. Horror Queen 88 says 70 grand isn't hard to blow through, especially how Stefan Stern spent money. Yeah, I completely agree with you. In the Shape of a Heart, I have no idea where the drawing is. I believe as I've gone through. Okay, I'm going to take the website off. Let's just take a picture of Maddie. And let me just find this for you again. And I will give you the number. I'm not going to show it. It's explicit. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. It's going to take a moment for me to find it. Now I'm having a hard time finding it myself. There it is. Okay, so in the gallery that's titled Items from the Apartment, her notebook starts on image 370. And then that just shows, she's drawing a cylinder. Looks like she's doing, math homework or something. And then when you get to image 372 and 373, they're very explicit. Okay. But that will give you a very close look inside a window of poor little Miss Maddie's life. Yep. Oh, and there's Jess. She's awesome. 372, Danielle, 372, 373. Yep. That's what it is. Guys, let's call it a night, shall we? I am going to tonight and tomorrow, I'm going to spend a little time going through the stuff that I got. And I think tomorrow what we're going to do is probably listen to a recording or two, or a part of a recording. There's one that's like 2 hours long that I hadn't heard before. So we're going to stick with Maddie for a couple of days here and go through everything that I got in this batch. If there are any images that you find that you say, hey, there is like some real evidentiary value there, I think the drawing is probably the one that is the most, right? Please reach out to me. Go to here and click on this little envelope. That will take you to a form where you can contact me. Also, we interact with one another over on the fish tank. Let me bring up the fish tank here real quick. I was so behind the 8 ball this morning or this afternoon before we started that I didn't get everything already. But here is the fish tank. So if you're on Facebook and you like to talk all things true crime, that is where we do it. So yeah, check those out. Tomorrow we'll be back with more on the case. Hey, let me just do one more plug real quick. On my website, there's a support me page, and you guys support me so well. I just love you guys to death. You really take care of me. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can support my team. Autumn is my lead moderator. Use this button to buy Autumn a coffee. Bree is one of my moderators and also one of my researchers. Gives me all sorts of stuff. Really works hard behind the scenes. If you want to support her, you can click on that button. Okay, that's. I hope that you guys do take care of my mods, because you take care of me, and it's amazing, and they do it for free. They are rad. So with that, I shall bid you adieu. And I hope to see you tomorrow night. Until then, take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.